the Bring Me to Life song?
Yeah, it was in one of the... I'm gonna look it up. You can keep doing the intro. When I come back with the
I think we've
information.
lost the intro. I think we're off the rails.
This is the intro.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Hello. Welcome to the movies and the judging. Sorry, I'm fighting with my jacket that fell down. I was like, why does this feel weird on my back? It's because things.
Would you want to be part of a film award show?
What part?
Exactly. I know the Oscars actually recently just happened too for this last year, but I didn't watch it. I saw on social media a bunch of people that were like sharing different things about who won, and I was like, oh, that's some neat stuff to see statistically. Sad that the first, what was it, women's not maybe screenplay writer or something like that, like the first woman screenplay writer won an Oscar, and I was like, how long have the Oscars been going on that there was finally like
Wasn't it the 93rd or 97th?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I know it was
honestly don't keep up with it. So.
But I know it was for the movie Sinners, to which I did watch Sinners, and I did like it a lot because my horror book club read Ring Shout, and they suggested to watch Sinners alongside it. Okay. And for a second, I was like, did I watch that for the podcast, or did I just watch that in between? And I was like, I have time to watch more than one movie a week?
It depends on the week.
Yeah, it depends on the week. But yeah, we watched an award-winning film, but we went with, because at the time of us deciding that there are still award shows happening this year, and someone that won an award last year.
Yeah. Also, when we were writing this list, 2026 didn't exist yet.
Who says it does? This could all be made up and in our dreams.
Oh, well, that would be fun. I would like a redo.
I would like a redo of not just this year. There might be a couple, just a handful of years in there.
I saw this like post somewhere. I can't remember where it was. It might have been on Threads because I just been curious because I realized it was downloaded to my phone. I'm like, what is on here? Where I shared something with you the other day.
I know you love brand Twitter or brand Threads, I guess, or brand.
I like brands making fun of people, but like to their face, and everyone's like, then the thing that always cracks me up is like brand comments on thing, and then it's like, I'm like 9 times out of 10 I can click down there and it's the original post, and it's like, hey, if you want to give us some blah blah blah, and I'm like, dude, you made one post that went viral.
It used to be like that.
It used
Wendy's used to give out like food, and Burger King used to give out food. That was a thing once upon a time.
Oh no, I'm not even about like fast food. It's like I don't know, Chips Ahoy or something, like, I don't know. I know it's still food, but it's like there is some stuff I can't remember. It was like people were like, hey, and it's like, hey, I guess shoot your shot, but it's just like,
what's the worst thing? They don't answer you again.
No, they should make it worse. Be like,
they should ban you from buying it ever again somehow.
No, just embarrass you on the internet.
Most of the viral ones embarrass themselves, though.
Yeah. True. But, man, now I forgot why I even talked about Threads. It wasn't even food
I was
things.
talking about like the Oscars.
Oscar awards.
You said you wanted to redo only 2026. No other years in your life.
No, there'd probably be more, but it's like one of the things that it was like, hey, if you had to, it's like you had to take this deal where pretty much anytime you died, you would go back to when you're like your 14th or 15th year old, like when you're 14 or 15 year olds with all the memories of like your previous life. But the thing is, there is no end. You just keep repeating over and over and over. Would you do it?
No.
And yeah, that's what the person's like, this is my literal hell.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know. Sounds like a lot of work. Like, I'm back in school. And the thing is, it's like the knowledge of what changed doesn't always mean, like, knowledge of like what things are to you in the future does not mean that's the correct answer in such and such time.
Yeah, the timelines could be different theoretically, but the other thing for me is like more of a joke, but I feel like only recently have I stopped having nightmares about being back in school. So the idea of like finally like being free of those stress streams just to be put back into that body, no, I'm okay. I don't need it that bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was just like oblivious as a kid. I'm just like, yep, here I am once again. Evanescence. I know they're not the ones that sang that. I just remember that Evanescence sang a song when I was in high school. Probably because the new Spider Marvel, that trailer just came out today or this week, and it's like been all over the place, and I'm like, oh, okay.
So if anyone is still following, because I got lost in that.
Spider-Man, there we go, I got there.
I thought you were trying to say that Evanescence was in one of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, so I was sitting here trying to think if it was or wasn't.
Or was it Daredevil? I think it was Daredevil they sang the song in. No. They sang a song, like their one song, like
the Bring Me to Life song?
Yeah, it was in one of the, I'm going to look it up. You can keep doing the intro. When I come back with the information.
I think we've lost the intro. I think we're off the rails.
This is the intro.
Okay, to swing it back, the Oscars at the time of recording had recently happened, so we wrote this category about watching a 2025 award-winning film, but we figured we would pick not necessarily a movie that came out in 2025 and won an award, but instead won an award in 2025 to hopefully give us a couple more options and variety of different movies. Mm-hmm. I know I did not watch a Best Picture. I picked a different award.
So did I. Also, okay. I was right. Evanescence songs "My Immortal" and "Bring Me to Life" are featured in the movie Daredevil.
That's not what you said. You weren't right.
I said that second. The first one was like it was Spider-Man, or it might have been Daredevil. It wasn't the first thing I said, but it was the second.
Sorry, the way you phrase it, you're like, no, it's totally one of these movies, and you're like, I was right. I was like, you said two different.
Yeah, it was one of the movies I said. I was right.
Oh, this is when I make the joke, oh, what it is to be a man when you're not right, but you're still right.
Yeah.
In any case, yeah. But, so, both of us did not pick the Best Picture or something like that. Which, I guess we can say it when we say which movies that we individually watched. But
what was the best thing? Well, that's a problem. There's like 8 different awards.
Yeah, I know when you're looking up lists, a lot of them had like Anora listed, right?
Oh, yeah, because I was like, what the heck is this? And then you said it and was like, I'm not interested in it anymore.
Yeah, but in any case, if this is your first time here, in the year of 2026, we have been spinning a wheel where each of us came with half of the prompts, and we spin a wheel, and we each individually go off and find a movie to fit that prompt. If it wasn't clear already, 2025 award-winning film is what we did for this week, and there will be no spoiler towns or anything like that, since, especially for this one, because we probably both have not seen the movies that the other one has seen, because they're a lot newer. I feel like a lot of the other ones on this list we've managed to either... we had a very tiny list of movies to pick from, such as the board game tabletop movie one, or it's movies that we happen to have already seen and kind of like talked about with each other. But yeah, this should be more recent films that neither of us have seen, and we're going to talk about it in more of a, hey, I think you would like this or wouldn't like this, and things like that. Like, I know when we talked about the D&D movie, not the new D&D movie, the 2000.
Well, not even the original.
No, the live action from 2000. We were both like, you guys don't have to watch this. We're just gonna yap about it now.
Yeah.
But before we get into talking about our movies, we have dice, because we were both tabletop RPG nerds, and excuses to roll more dice are always fun. We have a lot of rules when it comes to the dice that we have. It was a fun bit, and now we're really like, oh yeah, that's a list of rules.
It's a lot of rules, but now at least me, I'm committed. Mainly because I have to write them in. I'm also just curious. I'm like, I don't remember if I uploaded stuff. Okay, I did.
But you did win last week's roll by rolling the lowest, so you get to pick this week's dice.
Yes, I do. Let's see. I am going to pick one of the die in this box. If my box would open. You know what? I think it's time. Which, I know we already did this, but I think we gotta roll. Wait a second. What was it? What?
Last week's was the D6.
I did, yeah, I was just wondering what was the Oscars.
Oh.
Oscar 26. It was the 98th. Close enough. Let's do the D100.
Big numbers. So, I've got my 100 and my D10. Clickety-clackety of the dice.
Yeah. And lowest roll wins. Holy moly. Well,
it's pretty low.
Well, I rolled pretty high.
I rolled 20.
Oh. I rolled an 85.
Oh.
It was close. It was close.
Yeah, it was really close. Really hard to tell which one of us rolled lower on that one. So you get to...
I got to make a rule now.
You get to make a rule. There was no way we were going to tie with that. I just looked at that other rule that you set up.
If we... Hold on. I gotta bring up the list or the times for all these episodes. As soon as I find Chrome again. Alright. So, the average time looks like it's about an hour and 7 to 8 minutes for these episodes.
Okay.
So, I say, if an episode is under... I'm trying to think. If it's under an hour, which this can also be tampered with. But I will say, if an episode is under an hour, we wipe out all the rules.
Oh, so we speed run. Yeah, I like how both of your rules have been attempts to get rid of the rules.
No, like...
you have the if we tie.
If we tie... if we tie... Like, the way I was looking at it, if resetting the rules, it means, like, the rules are still here. We just, like... If we don't have to... If we go back from, like, 0-0, the score is 0-0. It's not like you have 3 and I... Like, 3 in a row. That's how I was kind of pushing that, where it's, like... It resets and goes back to, like, the score is 0-0.
Mm-hmm. And now, if we go under the hour, rules be damned. They never existed in the first place.
Yeah. This is not me. It's like, we need to make sure we record faster. It's just, because, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to... The thing is, though, I'm like, I have a feeling we just won't remember it. So I'm wondering if it'd be better to be like, hey, if we go over... an hour and 10, that's when we reset the rules.
I feel like that would be more common than the under an hour, since we do yap and do the intro stuff for about like the 20 minutes, and we have 2 20-minute timers. Like we have
we are going against the
format.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness, I thought of another funny way to define who goes first, but I'll save that for a different episode. I'm gonna do that. Oh, did I type? Where am I typing? I'm typing on the wrong thing. If we go over 1 hour 10-minute. I'm going to put 15. 15-minute. Because we've been rambling for a bit. And I don't want it to happen round 1. Everything is erased. That's the end of the podcast.
Goodbye, guys.
All rules are reset. I will rename this one to better clarify what I meant, which was resets all,
like counting.
Yeah,
or
counts.
Counters. Okay.
Resets all counts. That's what I was intending with that rule, and now I was like, oh, I see how that wasn't very clear. But hey, enough about random rules that really we only care about. It's time for you to tell us your movie.
My movie of choice. So I looked up just a very quick list of award-winning films. I did not do a lot of research because pretty quickly into my research I found a movie I wanted to watch. So I went with a movie that won for Best Makeup, and the movie is The Substance.
I almost watched that one.
I think you would have liked it.
Well, tell me about it.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you still needed to write down stuff.
No, I was writing down, and I was multitasking, but timer is set, and I am writing.
Okay, so yeah, let me think of the best way to go over this movie with as little information as possible, because I do think Strider watched it with me, and both him and I knew what to visually expect by the end of the movie, because we both, through different things on the internet, did get it spoiled to us a little bit. So I will go through and try and talk about it with as little spoilers as I possibly can, because I think this is one of those movies that I think, not to say that you can't rewatch it, but it does have there's a very strong reaction the less you know about the movie. So
I don't know anything about it except the title.
Yeah, so the overall concept of the movie is related to Hollywood and aging out of Hollywood, I would say, is a core of the movie. And how, despite, the fame and riches and everything that someone can get, when a lot of their life is spent in the limelight because of how they look, then what does that person do and struggle with as they age and get older and get told, hey, you're no longer desirable, when most of your skills were related to your youth. Mm-hmm. So that's Demi Moore's character. She's, I'd say, one half of the main character. And she is in a very vulnerable position. They talk about, oh, happy birthday. And they essentially fire her from her job because they go, oh, she's old. I don't know how she's lasted so long, yada, yada, blah. And she keeps having these different moments where she's reflecting over her career and what she's done to get to this point, but also kind of looking at herself in the mirror in a way that you can tell that she doesn't like what she sees anymore. And she's pretty vulnerable and left pretty empty because of it, which makes sense. It's telling someone oh, all of your worth and your entire career is all because you're really good at one thing, and then you wake up one day and everyone's the thing you were good at, actually, we don't like it anymore. We have no use for it anymore. Mm-hmm. So she's feeling confused and lost, and she ends up in many of the ways that I feel you see for true crime and stuff, where they're oh, I got recruited into a cult. And when you don't have that same mindset, you're how could you possibly be recruited into a cult? But she's in a very vulnerable place in her life, and then her acting does a very good job of delivering, even though I would never make the same decision she does as a character, I go, yeah, I see it. I get it. Mm-hmm. So she ends up being promised this, it sounds like a miracle, and she's promised this best version of herself as long as she follows a strict set of rules. And all she knows is it's called The Substance, i.e. the name of the movie. And it basically goes through her having access to everything she thought she lost by getting older. And the major rule is you have to constantly swap positions every 7 days. So there's this really strict regimen that they need to follow. But because of like her getting the taste of like the high life and everything like that, it gets harder and harder for her to be willing to go back and forth between the older body and this youthful body. And it's just a lot of this like constant struggle of like, is this everything I wanted? But then you kind of like step back into Demi Moore's, like the younger version of her is played by Margaret Qualley. Both of them did fantastic jobs, I think, in the film. And they have this constant kind of like back and forth battle of, well, we get everything we want as long as we're young. But it's also like, to maintain the lifestyle, you have to follow the rules. And of course, it's one of those like secretive companies that's like, we don't answer questions, we don't fix problems. We promised you a miracle drug, you just have to follow the instructions and don't mess it up. As if people aren't complicated creatures that it's going to be hard to follow said instructions for. But yeah, and it's even like, I felt even like really bad for the way that the main characters kind of play out things for themselves, because everything they are is like centered around Hollywood, centered around how good you look and all these other things that her younger self essentially ends up working for the same exact guy that fired her older self. And I was like, why would you do that to yourself? And everything like that. But yeah, I think it's really well done. And I think it was an Academy Award for Best Makeup. So because it won the award for Best Makeup, I watched it from the viewpoint where I was really paying attention to, like, when does the makeup, like, happen? Mm-hmm. And I'd say the first half of the film, it doesn't really seem to come up at all. So I was kind of like, they said makeup. But then as the characters start making worse and worse choices, I was like, oh, I see how the makeup comes into play. And there are even scenes that I was watching, and I was, like, trying to find, like, where the makeup scene was. And I was just like, I don't see it. It looks really flawless, and that's almost scarier because of just, like, how good it was. I don't know if it won any awards for its props specifically, but I feel like it could have won awards for its props. A lot of, like, again, because a lot of the themes for The Substance is around aging bodies and getting older, and just, like, how it's human nature to, like, hold on to things, like with rose-colored glasses, nostalgia, and everything. There's actually a lot of body horror that I was aware of, but I wasn't fully expecting in it. And I was saying to Strider, like, it's not that the horror, like the body horror, is grounded, but it, like, it feels adjacent to something that I can understand. So there were several scenes where I was like, just tell me when it's over. Just tell me when it's over. Which surprised me, because I can watch things like The Thing and Alien and all of that. But I think in those scenarios, the horror feels outside of yourself, right? Like The Thing is like this morphing creature that you can't really pin down. Alien is, you can see this big thing that's basically your anxiety, like breathing down your neck, waiting to, like, get you. Whereas in The Substance, there are just a lot of moments, and I think because it feels like medical as well, that the prop department was, like, making these things, and I was just like, ugh, that's making my skin crawl. Ugh. And there's a lot of, like, needles, there's a lot of, like, injections, there's a lot of, like, things like that too. And all of it, of course, because it's related to the lengths that people will go to, like, have a different or better body, so to speak. I mean, there's that one really rich guy, I forget his name, who's, like, taking his son's, like, blood plasma and putting it in himself because he says it makes him younger. Do you know who I'm talking about?
It sounds like
familiar. Brian something. But he looks really scary.
Nah, I remember hearing something about this, and yeah, that's all I really know. It's pretty much what you said.
Oh, yes. Here it is. Brian Johnson, I think his name is. What a generic name. But, like, this is one of the article photos of, like, all the procedures he does to his skin to, like, make himself try and look as young as possible.
I don't know why, but looking at this picture, it just reminds me of the meme, Father, my bonita. My bonita.
But yeah, he's, like, 45, and he's, like, put every ounce of his money into, like, eating perfectly and, like, you know, like, just anything he can to try and live forever, theoretically. And it's just like, you're allowed to get old. It's fine. It's not fun, but it's part of life. But yeah, so there is a lot of, like, medical stuff in it as well. Like, at one point she pulls out a needle, and, like, the needle is, like, it has to be, like, 6 inches long, and I was just like, has a needle. Like, and then of course they do a very slow motion take of, like, it going into the skin and everything like that, and very zoomed in, and I'm like, that is part of the horrors of, like, all of that. And on top of it, a lot of the scenes that happen with the medical stuff is her doing it alone to herself in a room with no assistance, and I'm just like, I could not be me. There's some scenes that just involve, like, things coming out of bodies or having to, like, pull things out of your body, and just, like, there's one scene that I won't necessarily spoil, but if you've watched it, it makes sense, where they take a really, like, it's very slow going almost, and all you really hear is the actress grunting and, like, the squelching of something happening as she, like, has to deal with whatever this weirdness is happening to her. And it was just, it felt like forever, even though I'm pretty sure it was 30 seconds. But, like, I had to, like, look through my fingers, like, did she do it? Oh, she's doing the thing. Oh, it's happening.
It's
like,
still going. Oh, no.
And I wouldn't say I'm a particularly queasy person, but I will say that I'm glad I watched it in the comfort of my own home, where I could say the thing out loud. Because I think if I was in a movie theater having to suppress that feeling, I would probably start to feel actually nauseous, instead of being able to break it with saying something humorous in the middle of the, oh no.
Oh my gosh.
But there was even the thing that really impressed Strider and I, like, it got towards the end of the movie, and even though we had been spoiled by something that we knew was coming, like, we had seen images from things towards the, like, last half hour of the movie, there was one set of effects at the very end where we were so fascinated. We were like, is it a puppet? Is it green screen? Is it, like, stop motion? Like, it was really, like, cool, creepy, weird, uncomfortable. But because in our brains were, like, not, like, we could suspend our disbelief, our brains immediately went to, how do they do it? How do they pull it off? That's so fun. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it was a really fun watch. I think if you can stomach body horror in terms of, like, more medically inclined and more, like, stuff that you do to your own body, I think it's worth a watch. I would say, I mean, there is a lot of nudity and stuff in it, but again, it's about, like, female bodies in Hollywood. But even though there's a lot of nudity in it, it was never, in my opinion, watching it, it didn't feel unnecessary. Like, at some points I was like, I don't think her boobs have to be out, but then, like, it mirrored scenes later that I was like, okay, I see the director's vision. So I know there's some movies I'll watch, and I watched Barbarella, and I was like, she didn't have to sleep with everybody. The plot could have kept moving. But the way that I feel like the substance was structured, it makes a lot of sense to use that, like, almost uncomfortableness of, like, a woman confident in her body enough to flaunt it a bunch, but also at the same time be so, like, insecure and, like, fighting for everything because she knows she's, like, has an attractive body. Like, it has a lot of, like, interesting parallels and discussions that I think make it, like, pretty good horror movie, especially in terms of, like, putting it in the context of modern Hollywood, where we have a lot of actresses that sometimes I'll look at them and I'm like, who is that? And then they'll go, oh, this is them. And I go, they didn't have to do that. Like, not, I don't like to shame people for anything that makes them feel better. Like, if you find that, like, cosmetic surgery makes you happier in your body and everything like that, then that's fine. But sometimes, like, me, I'm starting to find it hard to discern some actresses apart because, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, I feel like a lot of them do go to, like, similar surgeons or get similar procedures. And it's just like, it would be nice if we could let Hollywood women age and just be completely fine and live their lives. But alas. Alas. But yeah, this is, I don't know. It's some things in the substance I did find, like, no, I don't know if I would say cheesy, but I feel like the editing choices do feel very particular to, like, I would say, like, this era of movies. I would be interested if you watch it, if you have a similar take. But kind of like rewatching movies from the 2000s, you're like, they only edited movies and wrote movies like this in the 2000s. They don't do this anymore. Some things in the substance feels like a post-2020 editing style, like using the big blocky font for the transition slides or transition stingers. Does that make sense? Where they would be like, this is the name of a location in a big font, and then a dun-dun-dun-dun, and then it goes on to the next scene. And I wonder how that will age as far as, like, editing choices, because those stingers weren't my favorite thing. But I will say, if you ever watch a movie with closed captioning, something about it saying dramatic stinger plays makes the stinger not dramatic at all.
Yeah. There's the frequent listener has pretty much does not watch anything without subtitles.
And that's fine, yeah.
I don't have a problem with it, but because of that, like, I just always have my subtitles on now, and it's just some of the things that get subtitled just crack me up.
But yeah, I think overall it's, like, a really good movie. I think it's, I don't know, like, when I first finished the movie, I will say that I think when I was talking to Strider, like, my rating system's not perfect. I don't have, like, a set in stone rating system for any media, really. But I was like, I'm thinking like a 7. He was like, really? I think I'd give it an 8. And I thought about it, and I was like, I think The Substance is going to be a movie that, upon first finishing it, I'm probably going to give it a lower score, and then the more time I spend away from it, the more I'm going to like it. And I think that's true now that I'm talking about it again. Because I think at first when I finished the movie, I was like, was that body horror for the sake of just scaring me? Or was it to, like, actually say something? And now that I've stepped away with it, I'm like, all of the scenes, as uncomfortable and as itchy as they made me feel, I see their purpose. And I don't think it was, like, done just for the sake of it. And I think because there was, like, a push in, like, the late 2000s of, like, just gore for gore's sake, that I think I assume it's, like, a shortcut, but I don't think The Substance was using it as a shortcut, because there are a lot of well-acted, well-delivered scenes that lead up to all of it, versus, like, I'm forgetting the name of the movies, but I remember my friends were like, you gotta watch this, he scoops his eye out with a spoon, and I'm like, I'm not watching that.
Saw?
No.
Sounds like a Saw.
The first Saw, I felt like actually had a plot behind it. I feel like the later Saws, from my memory, are a little bit more, like, you know, gore for gore's sake. Yeah. Hostel, maybe?
Maybe. I never watched them, so.
Yeah. I purposely never watched them because I had people say, like, yeah, it's 2 hours of them torturing people. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad that style of movie is gone.
Yeah. But it's
not as popular. I'm pretty sure there's still those movies out, but.
Yeah, I do feel like, was that the later 2000s or was it more of a 2010s thing? I can't recall.
The Saw movies?
Not necessarily Saw, but just, like, they wanted to keep upping the gross factor.
Yeah, that was, like, 2010s, like.
Yeah, because I also have not seen Human Centipede. I probably never will.
Yeah, I heard that the second one I find intriguing just because of the concept of it, because in the second one, it is written as the actors, like pretty much somebody loves the first film, the Human Centipede movie so much that they become like enamored by it and proceeds to kidnap one of the actresses and recreates a very like poor version of it. Like not like how I feel like clean is still a very bad way to describe it, but it's like where in the first movie I remember seeing things where it's like a surgical procedure. This one is like they're just duct taped to each other, but it's all in black and white, and I think the concept of it is interesting of, hey, we're not just doing another Human Centipede. We're doing Human Centipede, but
if somebody tried to copy it.
Yeah, somebody who took the fantasy too far. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting thing. Still not going to go see it, but
at least they're being creative about it instead of just forcing sequel upon sequel. That's fair. But yeah, how much time is left on my timer?
You got 30 seconds.
30 seconds. But yeah, I'd say I'd recommend this. Definitely if you're, I don't know, like I think as a horror movie it holds up. I think as a social commentary movie it holds up. And if you like makeup and special effects, the second half of the movie really like, oof. I mean, like there are parts in the very beginning that I was like, oh good heavens, like I didn't expect it to happen so soon.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that surprised me the most is I was able to suspend my disbelief for a lot of the really like high, like really like out there stuff, just because the way that the movie is presented and everything, that I was like, yeah, if someone gave someone a mysterious goo, yeah, I could see it doing that. I could see where there's no fine print, there's no legal paperwork, there just is goo. Yeah. It would do something like that, I suppose.
It's either that or turn into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And, like, it would be either or. And it's like, yeah, like, I could, from what I heard, yeah, like, really when Pazuzu shows up in the second half of the movie, it just really goes off the rails. Like.
But, yeah, so that's my movie. It won at least one award for makeup and special effects, and I'd say, yeah.
All right. So, yeah, so I guess it is my turn. And I'm going to write that. So, as you said what award your movie won, I went and looked up what award my movie won and found out that it was only nominated. And I'm like, wait, what?
Was it in the same category?
No, not for makeup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's like it was nominated and it got all these nominations but didn't actually win any of the major Academy Awards, Oscar. Like it was in the Oscars, it was animated for Golden Globes. Yeah, it was for all that.
Close enough.
The Annies, but it did win I lost it. Hold up. It won Best Animated Film for an Annecy, which is the Annecy's International Animated Film Festival, which takes place in France. It also was nominated for, as I said, the Oscars, the Golden Globes, the Academy Award things. Yeah, for animation, for Best Animated Feature. I don't know who won. Who won the Oscar? If the thing went 2005. I don't think K-Pop Demon Hunters was.
No, K-Pop Demon Hunters would have been this year.
Yeah. Best Sound. Achievement. I felt like I just looked this up and now I can't find. Flow. Never heard of it. So, not that it's a bad movie, but it's, yeah. So anyway, all of that was going on. But I saw that it was nominated for a whole bunch of things. And I watched a movie called The Memoir of a Snail.
Sounds cute.
And now I got to update my time because I rambled. So that way I know where to put the poster. So the big reason I chose this movie after looking up and seeing where, finding out, yes, it did win an award in 2025 and was done all this, was last week I watched Coraline. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. And I remember making the comment that besides Lakia, I don't know anyone that is making stop motion films anymore. And if they are, I don't know if they're getting attention. Well, Memoir of the Snail is a stop motion claymation film.
You would find one.
Yep. I wasn't looking for it. Now, if you look at the art for it, if you compare it to Coraline or Lakia's things or even Wallace and Gromit, it is not a very clean looking movie. It's the characters, needless to say, they're very gross looking. But I think that is but with that, it's almost like, what am I looking at? And then as your eyes get used to how the characters look, you just kind of get used to it, and it's like the animation for this is very smooth. It's not blocky, chunky, and the story itself is it's a very good story. It reminded me a lot. I know there's a couple memoirs that we've read. I know there's a few that you mentioned. There's one that I remember reading, and I'm blanking on it now. It's like the Let's see. Oh man, this is gonna bother me. Even though I'm eating up my time, I was like, I should know what this is, but hey, that's the nice thing about having a whole bunch of books saved.
You say it's a memoir with the word invisible in it?
I think so.
I don't think I've read a memoir with that. I know one of the popular books with that is Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Yeah,
but
no,
that's not a memoir.
No, it's... How do I look at my books from over the years on Storygraph? Because I think we read it.
You have to filter. We both have read this book?
Yes. I think it was 2023. Or 20...
I can maybe look at your profile. 1 second. I'll keep looking. You keep yapping.
Yeah. So anyway, this. So anyway, it is stop motion. The way pretty much it starts off with a character dying, and we're like, oh wow, this is really gross watching this character die, and everything. Part shock of animation, shock of just everything kind of happening, and it's like the death goes on for a little while, and it's just like, what the heck is going on? To where the character that was sitting with the dying characters in a garden puts a snail on the ground and starts monologuing, and it's like, what am I in here for? And pretty much Grace Purnell, who is the person narrating, she narrates her whole life up to that point of how she met that person, what her childhood was like, what her adolescence were like, what her adulthood was like, and I'm trying to remember what they called it. It was let's see, is it in here? Because it was an adult. Oh, there we go. An adult stop motion animated tragic comedy film. Yes, that one.
In the Dream House.
In the Dream House. It reminds me a little bit of the way the Dream House, because I listened to the audiobook.
Yeah, I know the big sell. So for anyone who hasn't read the memoir before, but it's basically a memoir told in kind of different genres of storytelling about this woman surviving an abusive relationship with her. I think they were sapphic. I think they were both women, mm-hmm. But about how she does a lot of plays with one of them's a rom-com, another one's like a TV drama, another one, a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah. And with this, like, it's not like it's a one-for-one thing, but it, like, the way it kind of flowed a little bit reminded me of this movie. Because, like, when it starts off with childhood, it's like, oh, man, childhood is, like, this person, like, their life sucks at the start of it. And it's, like, all these medical things she has to go through and everything. And, like, the only person that, like, is with her is her twin. And, like, pretty much, like, her mom dies giving birth to them. Her dad dies, like, from health complications, to the part where it's like they pretty much, this all takes place in Australia, by the way. This is so but yeah, pretty much they are separated, so she goes to one place and then he goes to another place, and like are on different sides of Australia. And it's her just kind of because she is narrating this all to a snail, because we keep going back from time to time to see, like, the snail is slowly moving forward and everything. We like it shares her highs and lows and everything. So the story, I think the story is a good story. Like, it is very much lives up to its name, tragic comedy. It is a very It is, I know I mentioned this to Hop. I know I mentioned to other people. It's like, do I love horror movies? Yes. Do I love, like, stupid action movies? Yes. Do I love movies that I can shut off my brain and just see, like, all these crazy things? Yes. Do I like pretty much all the different genres that we watched when we did the A24 for 24? Did I love the majority of them? Yes. But if anyone's going to ask me what is my favorite type of film to watch, it is movies that are just depressing. Like, it is.
I know you said The Lobster was a romantic comedy. That one wasn't even sad for you, was it?
No. It's well, I kept saying it was a romantic comedy because that's what the internet said it was in one review. So I kept saying that in tongue in cheek, but it's like, no, I like The Lobster. One of my favorite movies that I haven't watched in a while. And of course the title just flew out of my head. Anyway, now it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna look it up real quick, because I know the main actor. So there he is, Manchester by the Sea.
Yes, we have talked about finding excuses to watch that for the podcast.
Yep. So
Colin Farrell.
I know Casey Affleck is in it. I can't remember who else was in it, but yeah, it could be him. I don't know. I don't remember everything. I remember the gist of the story, but yeah, that is a story and a movie that, like, it does it have action? Not really. Is the main character just kind of overly depressed? Yes, and we find out why he's depressed, and you're like, at least at the time. I haven't watched it in almost 10 years, which I feel is like a caveat for a lot of these things. But overall, the Memoir of the Snail, it takes that sadness, the hardship of life, and kind of gives it this just this overtone of just, like, a little bit of satire, a little bit of like, okay, I think it's like we can guess what's happening, and they don't spell things out for you for some of the things. There's the main character falls in love, and you see the effects. Like, I remember I was watching it and seeing changes in her model, like that's happening, and it's like, it's real subtle. They keep doing it. I'm like, hold up. And there's, like, different things that, like, like was out of character a little bit, that the person mentioned, like the person she is falling in love with, like mentioned it, and I'm like, and like you kind of put the clues together, and then when the main character figures it out, it's like, oh, okay, it's that happened. It's like you're like, okay, I wasn't just going crazy of different things. And like the farther she kind of falls into her own depression, it like changes like the house that she's living in. And it's just, it is not like it's not a normal way, I feel like, film and, I guess for lack of a better term, Hollywood shows depression in a character. It's this like slow thing, and she makes mentions of it at different times with this. I should also say this is not based on a real story. Like to what I read, this is the director also wrote the movie, and like it was, I didn't really look up how he came up with the whole movie and the details with it and with the story, but to my understanding, this is a work of fiction. This is not based off of personal experience or somebody else's story. But yeah, so there's pretty much like the way they do everything and show it all. It's like the adult part is also there's adult themes in this. It's one of the things that I saw it and I was like, we'll see. And it's like, yeah, I wasn't expecting to see full frontal nudity in the stop motion claymation film. But it's not like in a sexual way at all. It's just like she's just there.
It's just her body. Yeah.
Yeah,
gotcha.
and it's like, I think they do it on purpose because it's like an older woman, like a much older woman, not the person who's telling the story that like that we see most of the time and other stuff. Like they make one mention of of swingers, and the main character's like, I was too young to realize. I thought they were just going to swing. I didn't realize later what it actually meant. And like the whole scene they show is just eyeballs in a black screen, just like, oh, Derek, just like, and then other noises, and then moves forward. But so like there is humor, there's all that stuff. And then like we think she has it bad, but then we learn about her brother as well, and it's just like, oh man, this is one sad family. And like not just like not like sad of just like it's just like, man, life is hitting them hard.
Was it kind of like Taika Waititi movies where you're like, wow, they got a bad hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
It like, but a really bad hand. And it's like one of the things where one person kind of invited it into their life from their depression. The other one kind of got it because the government.
Oh.
And the government not really caring much about where children go, and religious fanatics taking scripture way out of context to say what they want to do. Like that would ever happen.
Yes.
If people are only listening to the audio, if there was subtitles, it'd be, or whatever, I forget what it is, like the
closed captioning.
Yeah, the closed caption. Itisdpayne gives very sarcastic look away face. So, let's see how much time I got left here. If my phone would turn on, okay, I got like 5 minutes. So, okay. Overall, yeah, it was nominated for multiple large awards for international animated film and best animated film. As I said, like it's like for stop motion, it is very clean. Like it's mainly just because for the first like 5 minutes, my brain had to just get used to the art style of the characters.
Okay.
Because it's like they're there, like and it's like part overly not descriptive, but like in detail, and other part like not, and but it's everything, like it feels like after like 5-10 minutes, like it feels like everything kind of has weight and moves, and it's not just like independent floppy arm
that's neat
animation stuff. Like it's like hair moves the way, like kind of how wind would interact with it. Clothing not so much, but it's like that's not really what the detail is. But like the facial reactions and arm movements and walking is very smoothed, and to the point where I'm like, I'm forgetting that I'm watching a stop motion film.
That's impressive.
I think like there's not like really any huge action scenes. There's a couple. There's like maybe like one that I can think of, but actually two. But action is not what the movie's there for. But it's like even in those high movement scenes, like it's just everything flows really well, and it almost harkens back a little bit to like the Year Without Santa Claus, like with Heat Miser and Cold Miser. With the way how they like do fire and ice and all that stuff, like it reminds me a little bit of that with all their stuff. But yeah, so I would say definitely watch. Like I would definitely recommend watching this, checking it out, because of just it being, well, an adult animation. Don't go in thinking you're going to be watching a Disney or a Lakia film.
Sit around with the family.
Yes. There is some heavy themes of just like as I said, it shows depression in a way that I don't think is normally shown in movies. Not to say that it isn't shown out there, but it's like it's not the normal, and there's a little bit of I'm trying to think of the right way of putting it, because there is abuse, but it's not like sexual or substance abuse, more manipulation. I think that's a good way of putting it, and it's like the way it is manipulated and how it affects the main character. Like there's that could
is that why you said it kind of reminds you of In the Dream House?
Yes.
Also, okay.
Yeah. And so
there's like emotional and
yes, there's
abuse.
It's definitely emotional, but it's a very subtle thing. It's not so much like in your face of like, hey, look at all this, and to the like pretty much the way it's presented, you're like, oh, okay. Like it's like unless you're picking up on the subtle hints that they're hinting at, it almost makes you feel like this guy is a good guy. Like he seems like a good guy, but there's something that I'm like,
the vibes are just not
something.
Right.
Yeah, something is not clicking. And like for me, just the way I intake media, it's like a mystery, and I'm like, okay, I think he's doing this, and so I think you would pick it up pretty quick as well. Just what he's doing, but so there is some of that in there, and then just there's a lot of death, and then the only other thing for listeners and just to be aware of is that like there is a lot of, not a lot, but there is a theme of just religious overstepping their bounds, like religious abuse of power and stuff, especially on children. And in in there's a lot of the there is a thread of there's a gay character, so it's like how they're already in this like twisting and looking at the in my personal opinion the wrong way of scripture, and they make fun of it the whole time, like of the religious family.
Okay.
Yeah, I ex-pastor, still go to church, still all that. The way they made fun of them, I'm like, yeah, they deserved it. So, and
would you say it was like blatant homophobia alongside that?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
When it comes up, like it's almost like that's the thing. I didn't catch what time period this movie was made, and so the way everything looked, it felt like a little older, maybe like 80s, 90s, but there is homophobia and like there's
like the time setting for the movie.
Yes.
Or the okay.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it's set in the modern day.
Okay.
But yeah, but when it's in there, it's like there's definitely like the homophobia and just the way characters react to it. It's like, that ain't cool. So more than it's not cool, but it's yeah, just like be aware of that. But overall, I do think it was a good movie. I think it's a good movie to watch and just kind of think through. And as I said, like I think the best part of this movie is that it paints depression and in a slightly different light than is normally shown in media, at least in movies. And I think just the whole story of this person's life, the way it's told, the animation, it goes really well. And to the part where I was like, what am I watching? Like in the first like third, I'm like, what am I watching? And then like you're saying, like in the second or third, I was like, I can feel the emotions in my throat. So I would recommend people checking it out. It's on Canopy, but if you guys have Hulu, any of those things, it's on there as well.
Neat.
And it's only an hour and a half. But yeah, that is it. But now it is time to spin that wheel. Dun, dun, dun.
Sorry, I had to get a sneeze out, but yes. Wheel time. Wheel time.
Wheel time.
All right, I do have it open. I double checked that we don't have all 50 prompts still in there like it was that one time. All right, and I am spinning that wheel.
Woo!
So it is slowing down, and Dpayne, you have the power to re-roll it if you do not like the prompt for today.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But right now it is superhero film, parentheses, not Marvel and not DC.
Okay, so you know what's really funny? I'm not gonna re-roll. I literally was thinking about this prompt today because of the Spider-Man trailer that was coming out, and I was like, you know what would be a good prompt? Literally the one you just read, and I think I wrote it.
I do think you wrote it. The parentheses, not Marvel, not DC, is feels like a very you
yeah,
approach
it is.
To a
I see it
superhero
right there. Yes, which now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I think the only movie that would probably fit this is Kick-Ass for me.
Oh, have you already watched what's it called? The Bird one.
Birdman?
Yeah. I haven't watched that one yet and I've been meaning to.
Yes.
Okay.
I really like that one.
That one is I know he's a vigilante, but he's a superhero, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's a
Is it Keaton?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So it's a little bit different, but I will accept it because I think that movie is awesome and more people should watch it. It's more like Adam West.
Oh, his take on being a superhero. Okay.
Like,
I have watched the first Kick-Ass film.
Yeah.
So that one wouldn't count for me.
I'm just thinking there's the guy from The Office, I forget his name, but I think it's like
Rainn Wilson is in one, yes.
And I watched that and like I never watched The Office, so like whenever he comes up, I think of that where he's like, "Shut up, crime," and beats people with a monkey wrench. So anyway, that will be next week, and we'll go from there. So thank you everyone so much for watching, listening, and I hope you enjoyed the Oscars. What, like a week or two after they came out. So, until next time, bye.